Lycos, and others, all accessible to you here. And it can dynamically update itself to find latest search engines that we've added. And you can choose which search engine you'd like to go out and find information on. So let me type in yet another search here, because on the web you can get the latest information. So let's look for pricing and availability of the iMation SuperDisk for iMac. Kind of thing we'd all like to look for. And now when I hit return, it is actually talking with all these search engines and getting back very quickly information from these search engines about the documents they all know about on the web. And I can scroll through, and again, they've been ranked by relevance. And I can look at these documents, and I can click on any one of them, and I'll get a summary right there in the summary panel from that search engine. They're actually feeding me back their summary of that document. And better yet, I can simply double-click on that document, and Microsoft Internet Explorer, my browser of choice, opens up and goes right to that document. I didn't have to go to another site into the search engine and click again. I actually jumped right to the document out there on the World Wide Web. It just never has been any faster to get the information. Thank you. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could save all these searches and just do them over and over whenever you need to? And with Sherlock you can. You can save your search criteria right as files on your desktop to run them whenever you need to. And more importantly, these documents, these URLs, these live web documents can now be treated like any other document on my system. I can grab a document, one of my favorites, an Apple website that talks about iMac, and simply drag it to my desktop. And there it is. It's now a new live internet document that works like all of my local documents. I can save them, I can copy them, I can email them, and when I open them up again, just by double-clicking, I go instantly to that web page. So live documents work just like the regular documents you're used to on your hard drive. Now I can save this document. I can put it into a pop-up folder with all my favorite web documents. And as I look through it, let me double-click on one more of those documents in here. Here's a ZDNet document about Macworld, but we're actually going, this is live, across the web to Japan. And here's something that you haven't seen before. I'm on an English language Macintosh, and the document's in Japanese. It's actually opened up a Japanese web page and rendered the fonts properly. So Allegro is the most universal of operating systems, the ability to actually work with and render documents in other languages, even on your local language system. And we worked with Microsoft to make sure this works beautifully. So that's Sherlock, the most powerful search engine in a personal computer, and it helps you find all of your documents on your local system, inside all of the content, and on your own network, and across the entire World Wide Web. And we hope it's something that every user will value and find of tremendous power. Now, for the next demonstration, I'd like to move over to another Macintosh and a PC next to it. Now, what we're going to show here, yes, you can boo for a minute if you want. That's okay. But you know what? It is a multi-platform world, and we need to work together. And we think that's fair. And we're working very hard on that at Apple. Yeah. But while we work together, it's also nice to beat them every now and then. It really is. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a network copy performance test here. I have on your left, and on my left up here, a Power Macintosh G3 running the beta of Allegro that you've just seen. And it is sitting on a dedicated 100 megabit Ethernet network, which is something we'd all like to have, right? Your own dedicated network. And what's sitting behind it is another G3 Macintosh, the exact same kind of unit, running AppleShare IP6 as its dedicated file server. On your right-hand screen, I have a compact Desk Pro running a Pentium 2 at 400 megahertz, the fastest Pentium you can get, running the world's fastest networking file system, NT4. It's sitting on its own dedicated 100 megabit Ethernet network, and behind it is a Dell server, Pentium 2 server, also running NT4. Now, we've made sure the specs are exactly the equal on these machines, same memory, same partitions, so it's really a very equal test. And all we're going to do is the simplest of actions, copying a file. Steve, if you could give me a hand with this. going to bring up two folders, one from the client and one from the server on each of the machines. We have the exact same file, a 150 megabyte image file, the kind of things all of our customers use in Photoshop. And all we're going to do is drag it from the client to the server, see who's faster.
I can help you with that. Okay.
Would you like to do the count?
3, 2, 1, go.
So we started the file copy. You see the Mac on the left, the Windows machine on the right. Previously, this is something that was not the best feature of Mac OS. We would not exactly win. Well, something has happened. Let's try that again. Let's delete the file. It's a good thing this is beta.
Yeah. I think, okay, we're fine here. I have no idea what's going on. Let's try it again.
Try it one more time.
3, 2, 1, go.
There we go. I promise when we ship it will be this fast.
And you'll only have to do it once.
And you'll only have to do it once. There we go. What customers will find when they purchase Allegro that the performance of network copy is improved 3x, making it now 50% faster than Windows NT. And in this demo, we're actually using over 80 megabytes per second, a megabit per second of the Ethernet network, the theoretical maximum. And Windows NT is using just over 60 megabits per second. So truly getting up to 50% faster in a lot of our demo tests. Steve, thank you.
Thank you, Phil. So, we're convinced that Allegro is going to be an incredibly hot release of Mac OS 8, and we're working very hard so that the quarter beginning about a year from now, we're going to be delivering Mac OS 10, which we think is going to be the most significant enhancement to the Mac OS since it was introduced in 1984. So that is our software strategy. And again, our developers really loved it. At the developer conference, we're working with many of them on this, and we rolled out our product strategy on May 6th and a week later, and I think it was very well received. It wasn't one day later before we started hearing the next level in the hierarchy of skepticism, and that was, well, okay, so you've survived. Now you have a stable business. That's really great. You're making some profits. That's really good. Business is in control. That's wonderful. And you got a dynamite product strategy. You got to execute on it. But you guys have been executing pretty well. We'll give you that. But you know, are you going to have the applications? And of course, we anticipated this a year ago. And we've been working with a lot of developers in the last year. And it's amazing how many of our developers just hadn't been talked to, hadn't been listened to. And we've been doing tremendous amounts of that and really forging business partnerships with our developers, and it's been fantastic. But let me take you back to a year ago. A year ago, that was not the case. When I first got back to Apple, I called a lot of the big developers up, and they were just hopping mad at Apple. Hopping mad for having lost some market share, but even more hopping mad for not having paid any attention to them. And we knew we had to turn this around. And we started asking some of these developers to re-partner and recommit to Apple, and so that we could together turn the situation around. And you know who the first one was? It was Microsoft. They said, we want the Mac to succeed. We've got a fantastic business selling Mac software. We think the Mac is great. We want the Mac to succeed. We want to partner with you. Our first developer partner, which we announced a year ago at Macworld. And I'm really pleased to tell you that despite the boos we received a year ago at Macworld, this partnership has blossomed. And it's done what every good partnership should aspire to do, which is to deliver great products to our mutual customers. And I'm very happy about this. And I think